Hello everyone, it's Tana. Welcome back to another Rabbit Hole Designs video. Today we're going to make more Christmas in July cards. I'm showing you there all the images I have colored. Stay tuned for upcoming videos in the next couple of months for more of those, because of course I can't use them all in this video. Today is all about using white space to your advantage. Like, I'm not one that's very good at clean and simple cards, but I found I was able to do it this way, where I still had stuff going on, but I left everything white except for the focal image and maybe the sentiment. So I'm going to give you 3 different ways today to utilize that white space and still make a clean and simple card. So for this first card, I have die cut out from my stash some birch trees and some snowbanks. And I'm going to create a very simple background with just those. Now, you don't know how badly I wanted to add a winter sky to that, ink blend a winter sky, but you know, it would have defeated the whole purpose of my video, and I'm trying to get myself to do some more clean and simple things when I can possibly manage it. So I'm just going to glue all these to my panel, and I trim off anything that's hanging over the edge. On this one I did a little bit more of creative cutting so I could fit a little bit more on the edge of that panel. And then we'll add on our snowbanks. And I believe for this one I used the little guy with the hat. I apologize for any traffic. It's actually quite nice outside. We had a little bit of a rainstorm and the air's cooler, so I wanted to let some of that in the house. Here I have my snowbanks, and I'm just marking off where they're going to be so I can get rid of the excess and not have it add any more bulk to my card, any more unnecessary bulk. And for the most part, I'm using my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive in today's video. I might use some double-sided tape for a few things. Trim down those hills. And then we'll start putting our card together. Yep, the little guy with the hat holding the bird. I just love that little bird. I wanted to cut him out a bunch more times and color him in and put him in the birch trees. Once again, trying to stick to the clean and simple. Plus, he would have been a pain in the butt to fussy cut out multiple times. So I'm going to use a sentiment from the Warm and Cozy set. I can't remember which one, but you'll see in a second. And I'm going to do that right on the bottom snowbank. And I'm using a color ink that matches his scarf from CAS and Pooler. And there I'm using my powder tool before I heat emboss it. It's all that jazz. No one is as cool as you. That's the sentiment that I chose. It was a little bit trickier with the different bulk behind it from the snow hills to get it stamped evenly, but I did manage. And now I'm going to mat it with a piece of purple cardstock behind that matches his hat. So it's kind of got one of the shades from his hat going on. Ties the card together. And you're only going to see an 1/8 of an inch of that all the way around the card front. Then I'll adhere that to the card panel, a white card panel, card base I mean, with my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. And then I did add a little bit of embellishment by adding only the white snowflakes that came in the sequin bag from Rabbit Hole. So I glued some of those snowflakes down. Tried to make them as scattered and uneven as possible. And that's it for the first card. We have 3 cards today, 3 ways. We're going to use these cute little guys next. And for this one, I took a birch tree stencil and dry embossed those into my background. So that's the second way. Technically, there's 4 ways, because this is going to be a shaker card, and we're also going to add clear and white shaker bits only into the shaker card. So here I'm adhering the 3 sides of the shaker card front and scoring that down with my bone folder to make sure it stays adhered. Then the Rabbit Hole Designs shaker windows come with a protective film over the front. So we're going to peel that off next. And then here I am showing you I have all my clear ones sorted out from the Rabbit Hole mix. And then I'm adding in some iridescent snowflakes and some clear seed beads, and that's it. I think there's a few snowflake clay bits in there too from one of my old Hero Arts kits. Dump those into the shaker card, and then I'm going to adhere that top panel to the back. Score that down. And then we're going to take another sentiment from Warm and Cozy. And I believe I will heat emboss this one as well. But it's on a sentiment strip from a sentiment strip that's in the You've Been Framed die set. I used Flirty Fuchsia. I did try the Glam, way too dark, after only one stamping. So I switched to the Flirty Fuchsia to match the scarf that one of the snowmen have on. And I believe this says Snow Happy We're Friends. And it's stacked up, and I wanted it to go straight across. So I ink blended or stamped out and heat embossed the first half. And then I lined up the second half there to make sure everything was all nice and straight. And I'm using a piece of tape to cover up the part of the sentiment that I'm not currently using. Just make sure you take it off before you stamp. I've done that before. Yes, Snow Happy We're Friends. Then I will heat emboss that with clear embossing powder. And then we'll cut that out with the slanted sentiment strip from the You've Been Framed die set. I have to say, little die cut machines do come in handy. And there's the You've Been Framed die set. I guess I didn't want to forget to tell you guys, huh? Now we're going to glue 2 snowbanks onto the front of the shaker panel, just so our snowmen have a place to stand. I moved all my sequin bits to the top of the shaker so I could glue these on rather evenly. Excuse my stray hairs in the picture there. It's very humid here. Then I adhered my 2 snowmen, my 2 buddies, slightly behind the first snowbank and in front of the back snowbank. After they dry, I'm going to move all the shaker bits down to the bottom. I'm going to trim some off of the sentiment strip, some white space off, and then I'm going to adhere that towards the top of the card and make sure it's nice and straight. And then I took some double-sided adhesive, adhered to the back of the shaker panel, along with some glue so I can facilitate some movement there to make sure it goes on straight. And once I get onto a white card panel, card base, we're going to line that up and make sure it's nice and straight, and then make sure it dries. I did add some of the Rabbit Hole clear glitter enamel dots onto this card, and they're kind of haphazard in their direction because I wanted it to look like they were shaker bits, so that even when the shaker bits fell down, it still looked like there was some up there in the air. And for the final card, we're going to take this rocking horse from the Baby Source Christmas stamp set, and I have 3 more of it stamped out and fussy cut out so that it adds some stability to the rocking horse because he's going to be wobbling. I did think about putting him on a slider that rocks back and forth, but I have to figure out a way to make sure it doesn't become top heavy and flip, and I couldn't figure that out before this video, so I just went ahead and put him on a wobbler First I glued all those 3 pieces together, and then we're going to glue him on top, the nice colored one. And what do you think we're going to do with this panel? Anybody know? So the last fun way to create or use up white space but keep it white and fun is to heat emboss white on white. So I took the Merry Christmas sentiment from the Sweet Christmas stamp set, the Baby's First Christmas from the Baby's First Christmas stamp set, and the bow. I ended up taking the bow from, I believe, Sweet Christmas also. And I'm going to line them up and switch them back and forth. So we start with the lineup you see there, Baby's First Christmas, and then Merry Christmas with Christmas stacks under Merry. And I did use white pigment ink, and then super fine bright white embossing powder from Wow. And then I put a little bow on there because I didn't want there to be too much white empty space on the card panel, and neither one of those sentiments would fit fully. So that bow gets put in between all the way down the card base. So that's how that looks. You're going to see me do it once more, I believe, and then we're going to skip ahead towards the end. And I think one of my children is home, so you might hear a door shut behind me. I apologize ahead of time. Yep, so we have Merry and then Baby's First Christmas. And then we're going to put Christmas underneath Merry with the bow. And here we are skipping ahead to the end there. And I'm going to try to give you a good look at what the background looks like after everything's heat embossed. Got to put the bow on. And that's it for the background. So I trimmed it down to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. That's 1/8 of an inch off of each side. And the top and bottom. We're going to put our wobbler on the horse. Then I'm going to use double-sided tape to adhere the card panel to a mat of red cardstock, same as we did with the first card. Tie in the red that's on that rocking horse. It's a very thin mat. And then we're going to take our Nuvo Deluxe adhesive and adhere that to the white card base. And I believe this is top folding. And we're going to add a little bit of glue to the wobbler and then place that down in the center of the card. Let it dry. Then we're going to add some more clear glitter enamel drops. And that's it for that card, guys. I hope you guys liked everything you saw here today. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you can be subscribe to the channel and see more, of course. And don't forget to hit that notification bell if you want to be notified of upcoming videos. Don't forget to visit Instagram and see all the inspiration that's there all month long from the design team. And don't forget to sign up for the Rabbit Hole Designs email to be aware of all the new releases. And we'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye for now.